Today we are talking about horrible baby names. They've been a little bit out of control lately. Scary baby names, and we just have RIP. Someone's going into labor, a lot of people are like, oh my god, I pray your baby is healthy. People want a healthy baby, and you're just thinking, I'm gonna name them Rest in Peace. Yes, I've seen people suggest naming their kid Piano, Elixir, Shadow, Novel. You're seeing a lot of people treat the naming of their kid like a whole human being who's going to be paying taxes one day, treating this naming process the same as if they're naming a character, or they're naming a pet, or they're naming a piece of their property that can fit into their overall aesthetic and identity that they personally have for themselves, that they're trying to curate for the internet or for other people to see. Like, there's almost this inability to actually foresee that these babies aren't going to stay babies forever, and eventually they're going to actually grow up to be adults. So yeah, let's take a little look and see what the current state of baby names in 2026 is looking like. So it's like a 2026 baby names post. But one of the comments is, could I use these in 2027? No, you're going to explode, actually. If you use these in 2027, you will suffer the fate of both the Ocean Gate sub and the 1986 Challenger at the same time. Extinct boy names from 1921. Adolf, Furman, Gaylord, Sigmund. You know, I can see why these are extinct. The most unusual celebrity baby names. Okay, some celebrity has named their baby Audio Science. And then what do you even do? What do you even do if the kid doesn't even want to go into music, doesn't even want to go into audio? What if they don't even want to be a scientist? Do you guys, like, know My Little Pony at all? Because I watched that as a kid. They get stamped with something that says, this is gonna be your life. Hey kid, you got a paintbrush on your butt now, so you have to be a painter. Good luck, have fun, Van Gogh. I feel like that's what this name is. It's like trying to stick someone in a bubble. Bandit and Lucifer. I feel like naming your kid Lucifer is just asking for hell, okay? And I'm not trying to make like a joke like, haha, Lucifer and hell. I don't know how else to word it. What if somebody names their kid Lucifer and then they do want to convert to Christianity? Do you show up to the church? If you give your name, Fox News is gonna get involved, right? They're gonna be writing up some sort of new prophecy of like, Lucifer has invaded our church. The time of the rapture is here. But before we go any further, let's talk about today's sponsor, Raycon. They sent me these bone conduction headphones a few months ago, and I've been using them ever since. How these work is they just slip on, right, over the ear. The sound vibrations travels around the thing through your bones, okay? It feels pretty cool, actually. My life took a bit of a turn a few months ago, and the reason why I haven't been active on YouTube here as much is I've been busy with farm stuff. I use these Raycons pretty much every single day whenever I go to the barn and I do some farm chores. Since they use off-the-ear audio, I'm able to still hear what's going on around me while also hearing my music. It's very important to me that I get to listen to my music and I get to listen to what the goats are trying to tell me. They have a lot to say at all points in time, and I really don't want them to think I'm not an active listener, because I am. These things last me all day. There's a 13-hour battery life, and it's IP68 waterproof and dustproof, and I'm in a barn with lots of dust and hay, lots of particles floating around, so these are gonna hold up in a variety of different environments and situations you find yourself in. But since I've had these, my mom has tried to steal them. There's been a few times where she's basically trying to steal them off my head as I'm actively wearing them. So you know, I gotta say, I feel like these are mother approved. If you want to get your mom something for Mother's Day, I do recommend these headphones. Celebrate the moms in your life and go to buyraycon.com/SavanticsBC to get 15% off the bone conduction headphones. Thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into it. Western Baby Names Girls Edition. Indy, Melee. You know, I just think of like a melee attack in a video game. Saylin. That feels like an undeserved Lynn. Burke Lynn. Okay, again, we cannot just keep adding Lynn to everything. Boy names used under 50 times last year. Okay, so these feel mostly reasonable, except I don't think body is great. I'm not a fan. I do love the chronic materialism that would lead somebody to name their kid Body. You've just given up on any sort of higher order concept like sentience, selfhood, nothing like that. It's just like, what can I observe here? I can observe that the creature moves with its appendages through space. It is a body of sorts. It appears to have experience, but yes, I can see there's a meat body here. All right, subject, I shall call you body. Like, we have No as a name. And if that's actually pronounced Noah, no one's gonna pronounce it that way. Then you have Darwin and Ransom. Ransom sounds a little too tough. Like, not tough as in T-U-F-F. I mean, like, Ransom sounds like a name that's trying to be tough or edgy. You know, you're leading that kid into a midlife crisis where they're starting an alpha male podcast trying to sling every single kind of supplement under the sun. And Darwin, you better hope that kid turns out smart, right? Because the second this kid does anything stupid, right, it's gonna be Charles Darwin, Darwin Award. You have done something stupid that has evolutionarily failed the species. Darwin. I like the duality of the comments. Ain't nobody naming their kid Balthazar. And then I scroll up, and what do we have here? My son's name is Balthazar. Rare boy names that feel cool, wearable, and not overused. I like the idea of calling a name wearable, because, like, you know, normally when we wear stuff, we can kind of take it off. They can't. I mean, at least when they're a kid, they can't take it off. They can't just go into the name-changing office, I don't know, wherever that is, wherever you live. The government office, whatever. They can't just walk in there like, goo goo gaga, I, Balthazar, would humbly request a name change and a diaper change, if you please. Thank you. You're stuck with that until you hit, I don't know, 18, 16 at least? Want more like this? Grab my list of 50 rare but wearable baby names at the link in the bio. Okay, well, what's the link? Oh my god, it's an Etsy shop where they are selling baby names that they've definitely just generated with AI. I mean, they've definitely just went in and said, hey, give me like 50 baby names, spits out the list, and then is selling it. So let's see, 50 names, $7.24, $10. Oh, that's terrible too. That's so terrible that you can see them trying to, like, clickbait their useless Etsy product. 50 rare baby names you haven't heard. Okay, so we have you haven't heard, trying to generate curiosity, and then underneath that, they show even more desperation by trying to generate curiosity again. But you'll actually use. You haven't heard, but you'll actually use. This is the most embarrassing thing I have ever seen. Well, that's a lie. I've seen a lot of embarrassing stuff on this channel, and I also am embarrassing, so... But this is pretty bad. This curated list is for parents who want something rare, but still wearable. This curated list, you have 50 names. 50 names, and you're charging $7. Actually insane, given the amount of free competition where each article has at least like 100 in them. Why it's different? This isn't a random list pulled from Google. Every name is thoughtfully chosen to feel timeless, wearable, and a little expected. No, it's not a random list pulled from Google. It's a random list pulled from your ass. Whattoexpect.com. Using AI to name Babel? Wow. Using AI to name baby. Anyone else checking ChatGPT to see what it thinks you should name baby? It was actually pretty good at pinpointing names I'd like based on my previous kids' names. Are you not capable of pinpointing names you would like based on your previous kids' names? Are you not capable of, like, you know, the process of comparison in your brain where you look at a name and you look at your general preferences and then either it checks off the preference or it doesn't check it off? Are you capable of doing that? Because surely you are, right? Surely you are. Baby name trends 2026 nameberry.com. Amid bleak headlines and growing uncertainty, parents are actively seeking names that remind them of anything but our current environment. Romantasy names? No, do not be naming your kid after a romantasy character. Have you seen the current state? Have you seen the current state of romantasy? The books are just like 300 pages long and, you know, 250 of them are, I mean, I suppose it's related to like baby making, but I don't know if I would use them as inspiration for baby naming. Old money boy names. Now, I do love that. Old money boy names. Because the concept of an old money name is not very old money at all, because old money is money that it's rich people, wealthy people, where money has been in the family for quite some time, like aristocracy. And then new money would be people who have just come into large sums of money recently. And for some reason, people think old money is classier than new money. They need to think of a new way to be classist, right? Like, you know what? New money, even though they've got billions, it's not enough, is it? No, they actually are trashy and tasteless, evil, heathen people. Old money's got taste and new money's terrible. Like, what are you? Do you have free will, or are you a walking Great Gatsby character? With people who do care about the old money, new money distinction, where they don't want to look like new money and instead they want to look like old money, they say, you know, money talks but wealth whispers. Well, the idea of naming your child around the whole idea of wealth instead of just naming your kid nonchalantly, that's a rather new money concept, isn't it? So by giving your kid an old money name, you are betraying the concept of old money. And I think there was a good question to be asked of, why is this happening so much? And like I could say, you know, it's our hyper-individualistic culture and something buzzword. It's that damn phone. But I think we all kind of get that is at the root of this problem here. When you see a wild baby name being shared online by somebody, like they've named their baby something really unique to the point where it's probably going to be disruptive to the kid's life, and they're sharing it. They've named their kid that name, but importantly, they're sharing it for other people to see. So there is an aspect there of they want people to comment on and praise the name. I do think a big part of it too is this idea of trying to sort of control your life through curating it, and an escapism from what actually is into some sort of idealized version of what it is you want for your life. There are a lot of old money baby names, right? Videos like how to act old money clothing, old money this, old money that. And it's people who want to fit some sort of old money aesthetic. So because they want to commit so heavily to this aesthetic, and then there's more content being shoved in their face to conform to the aesthetic, it would make sense that when they have a new addition into their life, one that people tend to see as an extension of themselves, even though the baby is a fully autonomous being, it makes sense that the baby would get sort of absorbed into that overall aesthetic trend. The baby can't just be a baby, the name can't just be disconnected. Instead, just, it's what's good for me? What will make my life look more like my Pinterest board? So now we're gonna go and search through a true treasure trove, okay? r/Tragedeighs. Spelled that way because EIGH to be A or E in a name has been a really popular convention lately. And the description is, tragedy equals a given name that has been deliberately misspelled or completely made up to appear more unique than it actually is. Overheard at the tattoo shop, another lady was getting tattooed and talking about her son, Airborne Strider. Was she too embarrassed to just go with Skywalker? No, entirely. Among people who name their kids unconventional names, you know, people name them either Harry Potter names, Star Wars names, or anime names. This is a very healthy baby boy. Ma'am, are you sure about this?
I am.
Are you sure?
Why wouldn't I be?
Oh, I don't know. When you're naming your kid like Severus Snape, I gotta ask questions like, what if your kid doesn't even like Harry Potter, right? What if they hate that? In fact, they're probably likely to hate it because people are gonna constantly ask them about Harry Potter whenever they see their name. My daughter's name is Charlie, but we spell it Carly. Really? Really? I mean, English is hard enough. Okay, though, it's very consistent. We got a K sound. And you're like, no. We're gonna have it be ch. So someone's name is Sadie. Happy birthday, Sadie. You turned 2, and it's just sad, eh? Sad, eh? It's like how I speak. I'm Canadian. Like, that's pretty sad, eh? Poor baby. There is something about this, though. I am 100% convinced, and I could be wrong. If I am wrong, by the time I would be proven wrong about the claim I'm about to make, I would be too old to even remember I have made this claim. So, checkmate, everybody. The EIGH. I think there's going to be a batch of a bunch of people with EIGH in their name, and then that eventually that's going to be associated with old people, because I think that naming choice is going to be confined to the time period we're in right now. It's not a bad sound, it's not a bad choice sometimes, but the frequency in which people are shoving it into like every name they can think of, I think eventually people will get tired of it. It'll be like, okay, that fad is over. And then, well, when fewer babies are coming out with names like Sadie or whatever with an EIGH, it'll just be the old people who have that being a really common thing. So I think eventually this will become associated with old people to like 3 generations from now. I literally will be old by the time I will have seen if that plays out or not. I won't remember I made this video. Probably not. Memory is fleeting. There is only the present. Now, this is an absolute classic post on this sub. It's now, like, a lot of people probably know about it, but I need to read it here. I need to show you guys because it genuinely, I had to process. I was buffering for a second after I read it. I'm like, oh my god, the world. I laughed at my sister's tragedy, and now I'm uninvited to the baby shower I'm planning. My sister is due in early January, and we're planning her baby shower for early December. She decided she wanted to use my mother's maiden name, Rafferty, as her daughter's name. Not a tragedy itself, and I guess it works as a unique name. But yesterday, I texted my sister that I needed to get the custom items with my niece's name ordered ASAP, so they arrive in time for the shower. My sister then let me know they're going with an alternative spelling of Rafferty. I texted back, an alternative spelling of our mother's maiden name? My sister wants to spell it Raefarty. Rayfarty. My sister wants to spell it Rayfarty. But yeah, that's that. This is just something I've kind of wanted to talk about for a while. It is not like a world-ending problem. It's not. But what are your thoughts on all of this? Have you seen any tragedies? Have you seen any interesting influencer names? Let me know. But yeah, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.